Vaccine rules are relaxing in some places, but not on college campuses. Ellie Puentes was a pre-med sophomore at Union College in upstate New York. She got the vaccines as required to return to school in September and didn't react well, even ending up in the emergency room. So when the school mandated boosters a few months later, she applied for an exemption. And the school replied by telling her to pack up and go. Ellie, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Cindy. Thank you so much for having me.
Could you start by just setting the scene for us briefly? What's your background and what did it mean for you to go to college?
So, I'm a first generation Mexican student. My goal has always been going to college, be the first in my family to graduate. And I don't know, by this happening, it's a huge, it's very devastating for me because my one goal is just so easily taken away.
Tell us what happened after you got the second Pfizer shot.
So yeah, I got sick right away, and prior to getting the vaccine, I had no health issues. And then a couple days later, my stomach lining inflamed that I had to go to the hospital, and I was there for about 6 hours. And they couldn't give me any diagnosis as to why I got as sick as I did. They just diagnosed me with gastritis, and I still continue to have symptoms to this day from it.
In January, the school told you that you needed to have a booster. What did you tell the school and what was their reaction?
Yeah, so I got an email reminding me to get the booster, and I sent out an email with my concerns, everything that happened, me going to the hospital, and they denied that. So after that, I got a letter from my physician where he states it's ill-advised for me to receive the booster at the moment, and they denied that. I even went to the lengths of calling Pfizer themselves, them confirming that other patients had the same reaction, and it was still denied. There was nothing I was going to say that was going to change their mind. Their decision was final. I was expelled, and yeah, for prioritizing my health, they kicked me off campus. They gave me 72 hours to leave, and I'm not permitted back. I had no option. I even tried to speak to everyone in person. It was just either get the booster or you're out of school.
Here's that email. The vaccine is not associated with gastritis, which is the diagnosis you received in the ER 2 weeks after vaccination. But that's not actually what Pfizer says. In Pfizer's confidential clinical trial documents that the FDA was ordered to release in March, it lists the most commonly reported adverse reactions, and gastrointestinal disorders is a big one on the list. But the school told you that was not a valid reason to not get the booster.
That's exactly what happened. There really was nothing that I was going to say or that any medical professional was going to say that was going to change their mind.
And as I understand it, there was even a petition that was circulated in January when the booster mandate first came out, that was circulated among staff and students and faculty and alumni saying the booster is not necessary. They quoted the WHO chief scientist saying there's no evidence right now that healthy children or adolescents need boosters, none at all. They even quoted CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, vaccines what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. Did they respond to that petition at all?
The email was sent and there was just no response at all from them. It was just completely ignored. So I really don't know what else you can do at this point.
So what are your plans?
I don't know if Union is going to take me back. I don't know if it's an option, but I love Union College. The professors and students there are amazing. You get a great education. And I'm also very grateful for them because I come from a family that can't support me financially. I paid for college on my own, and Union College provided me with a amazing scholarship that allowed me to attend their institution. But as I said, I don't know if that's an option. So right now I'm looking at other colleges to try and find one that, values me as a person, values me, my education, and values my freedom of bodily autonomy. But, this isn't just about me. This is about everyone. People are getting their lives destroyed by this vaccine. I mean, I've been getting a lot of responses, people losing jobs, other kids being kicked out of school. So it's everyone's fight. It's time for everyone to, stand up and fight for their freedom.
And I know you started, or a friend, I guess, started a GoFundMe campaign.
Yes, it's actually my roommate. A group of them actually started it because the last I heard from Union was some of the money I had to pay back for, the time I was there. And I might as well have been there for 0 weeks because I would have saved myself a ton of money because I'm not even receiving any credit for my time there. So I'm paying for nothing. But yes, my friends did start it. It originally started as a GoFundMe page. It's just, a massive effort by the COVID regime to try and silence someone who's just trying to raise money to get to school. But they fortunately switched it to a new platform, the Give, Send, Go.
I saw on the GoFundMe page that there's a warning, or at least an advisory. This is where you can go for accurate information about COVID. And I looked up people who were fundraising for people who were sick with COVID, and there was no such label on their GoFundMe pages. Union College does allow medical and religious exemptions. They denied yours. Are you aware of other students that were granted those exemptions?
I know there was 50 other students fighting the mandate, and I was the only one enrolled, and I really wish I knew why. From my speculation is that I am a scholarship kid. They were paying for my education, so by getting rid of me, they didn't lose any money. They actually gained some, and they were just trying to find somebody to make an example out of.
Ellie, I also understand that you had COVID already. Is that right?
That is true. I mean, after being fully vaccinated, I got COVID. I had it back in December, so I even think I should have natural immunity, natural antibodies.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.